the Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment. The following views are strictly the views of James Hebert and do not represent anybody that works with the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media or is a part of the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media.
Straight from JHebert Studios, James covers the good, the bad, and the ugly, and gives his perspective on things. Now here is your host, James Hebert.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Oh boy. Get a daily dose of drama. Nothing to do with me this time. Anyway. Again, if you don't know, you don't know. And that's good for you and me. I'm not going to mention it here. But welcome to a new era of JHebert Side of Things. I mentioned that we were going to kick things off with this very podcast covering some YouTube drama. It's not just gonna be YouTube drama. I'm gonna cover other things as well. But anytime I feel I need to kind of get something off my chest, I feel like this is a good video outlet to kind of do so. So that's essentially what the JHebert Side of Things is gonna be, especially going forward. And I'm gonna be doing it solo in a lot of cases. I'm not really gonna be doing collabs too much when it comes to the show. And we're just going to kind of go through it and do what we need to do. So, yeah, new era for JHebert Studios. If you also heard in the announcement on Open Mic Night, which, by the way, if you haven't checked that out, Open Mic Night just appeared on my channel as well as the rest of the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media, including Noah, Jeff, JJ, and Greg Cherry's accounts. Go check out the New Year's Eve celebration. New intro, new highlight reel, all that shit. And then when you're done with that, also check out the Garry Hebert 1 in a Million documentary if you haven't already. Because that's other stuff coming up as well, not just on my channel, but other places as well and projects I'm working on. There's other stuff, too, that I can't really announce. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Possibly relating to another colleague. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up here in 2023, so I do hope that you have a very good time. And right now, I'm recording this on Christmas. So by the time you're seeing this, this is on Christmas. But right now, I am going to be doing things here, kind of talking about the stuff coming up on the channel. So before I even get to the stuff that I actually want to talk about, I just kind of want to get this out of the way now, so that way people know what the heck is going to be happening to this channel going forward. JHebert Studios is going to be a part fully, not half and half anymore, of the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media. For reasons I will not get into, that's just how it's going to be. Everything is going to be with the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media signature, and that's just how it is. And that will include theme edits, if he will allow me. Of course, I have to talk with him about that, but theme edits will be coming back on this channel. I already actually made one. People have heard the preview of that. People really liked what they heard as well. And I might be doing a couple of collab projects when it comes to songs entirely. There's going to be one that I did with an instrumental with Nick Nocturnal and another guy named Rimadile, I think is how you pronounce his name. I'm sorry if I butchered that, my friend, by the way. I love you, guy. But yeah, might go on his channel, might go on mine. But that's coming up. A song, a rap song by yours truly, may be dropping on this channel. So, full rap, me doing it, beat produced by Jody Beats. Be on the lookout for that, because that's going to be coming up soon. We're going to be doing a remaster as well of Mice and Men, the Of Mice and Men song I did with added lyrics. Another You. That's going to be coming out as well, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, stuff's going to be popping up on this channel, and around February time, we're going to be going on a Tech 9 binge for the Don DeMarco show. That will be with me and King A-Train. We're going to be doing that entire anthology. Essentially, it's going to be Tech 9's greatest collaborations. We picked a few out. I don't even know if you could call it the greatest, but we're going to be doing a bunch of collaborations that Tech has been responsible for. So we're going to be going through all that history. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun time. And then, following that, I believe in March, we're going to be doing another episode of the Don DeMarco show, which is going to be my pick, because I think that was more of a mutual pick between him and I, involving a little bit of SpongeBob AI. So, if you're interested in that, that'll be coming up on the Don DeMarco show as well. But yeah, you'll see when you see this year. Part of my New Year's resolution this year is doing things for me, for myself, because I've given myself so much to everybody else, and not naming names, but I think in some cases I gave it to people that just really didn't appreciate it as much as I wish they did. And I can't really control how people feel, and I feel like that's what I always tried to do. That's just kind of what I'm going to be doing going forward, is doing things for me and me only. If that involves collaborations with people that actually appreciate my work, 2 thumbs up. I'm happy about that. Otherwise, yeah, going to be doing it for me and me. Character Select is going to be on this show, or on this channel. That will also be debuting. I forgot to mention that. I have an AI simulated tournament that will be happening. Project MEX Remix will be the reason why it happens. Still kind of working out the kinks of the mod. I think I have to put in a patch, which I ain't going to hold you guys. I may be good at downloading mods, but I suck at putting them together, especially if you're trying to have a patch. So I need somebody to walk me through that. But that's what's coming up on the channel. We're going to be doing Character Select. It's going to be a video game stuff. We're going to be doing AI. Sometimes we might be doing single-player adventure. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen? But that'll essentially be my gaming show. And just all in all, going to have a good time. We'll see how it goes on. We may have more shows. We may not have more shows. Really kind of depends on how things go. But we'll see when we see. So back to the main subject of this video. There's a man by the name of James Summerton. James Summerton apparently is a historian YouTuber. And I ain't gonna hold you. Didn't know who the fuck this guy was. Alright? So I had to do a bit of research before I even came onto this podcast. Now, apparently, and this is just fresh off of hearing all of this, okay? So I just want to put that disclaimer out right now. I have no idea if there is more that I'm just missing, but judging by what I see from Scarce and the video we're going to be seeing here in The Gamer from Mars, I don't think it's anything past this point. The man goes by James Summerton. James Summerton is accused of plagiarizing, which is not okay right out of the gate. Let me just state that right off the rip. Anything that you use should always be credited as best as you possibly can. Okay? When I was doing JHebert theme edits, I always credited the artist, the label, the album it came off of. I always had that in the corner. Still going to do that every time I do it, by the way. So just be on the lookout. When it comes out, you'll see what I mean. But yeah, overall, like, you always want to credit the artist. It's just how it should be. I did that when it came to WYW, when that was a thing. Always put the song artist title, all that. It was right in the corner. In some cases, it's the end of the video, or the video description, or something. Always try to give proper credit. Now, I don't know what it's like with video essays. I don't know what it's like with historian stuff. But I just learned that from basic school. Like, college, high school, that's the first thing you learn. Okay? So I don't know where James Summerton lapse of judgment is with that. And I don't know why he forgot so freaking bad to credit his sources properly. But overall, that's where we got to. So, yeah, I mean, we're gonna be going over it here, and yeah, we're just gonna play this video from the gamer from Mars, who explains it very good with a fine-tooth comb in about 2 minutes. And if you're wondering why I'm doing a 2-minute clip as opposed to the freaking, I don't know, 4-hour documentary where like 45 minutes is probably about this guy from H-Bomber, I ain't got time for fucking 45 minutes of anything. Just don't. So this is the best you're gonna get. Now, if there is something that I'm drastically missing and he's accused of some heinous shit, do let me know in the comments. I will make a follow-up video. I will admit that there is obviously some stuff that I did not see. And if there is, I will know about it if you guys let me know about it. Otherwise, I'm just going to go by what I see in it. So that's just how it is. We're going to play this video now. Let's hear what the gamer from Mars has to say.
In years, there will be a race to the bottom with surface-level video essay slop, with an ever-increasing appreciation for channels that only upload an occasional very well-curated video. Of course, there are aspects of Harry's video that everyone seems to be in agreement on. In this nearly 4-hour-long video essay, the latter half is dedicated to James Summerton, a creator who provides analysis on popular films and television shows from an LGBTQ perspective. Summerton has developed a respectable reputation over the years in gay circles due to his work.
Right out of the gate, we know what he's done. Built a respectable community. Until he didn't. So now we know.
But that quickly changed when the H-Bomber Guy video hit subfeeds.
Reason he was accused is because of plagiarism, like I said before. That is completely wrong, and this guy should have known way better and should have done his due diligence on how to properly credit his source.
Across 2 hours, Harry brings up countless examples of James taking the words of other writers verbatim and passing them off as his own. To make matters worse, YouTuber Todd in the Shadows posted his own video a day later as sort of a companion piece. While H-Bomber Guy focused primarily on Summerton stealing the work of others, Todd pointed out several more instances of him misconstruing facts and stating falsehoods. In just a matter of a couple of days, this once respected member of the LGBTQ community had become a laughingstock. James...
Now, I will say, that's a problem with the internet in general. I feel like any source that you get, I don't care where it's from, you're always going to have a bias. Okay? That's just how it is. Especially if you got somebody that's doing a video essay on it, and it happened to be LGBTQ. So, for some cases, it could even be it could be on the opposite end of the spectrum, and it could be some douchebag supremacist bullshit, you know. You're going to find some bias there. That's just how it is. Now, I think it's up to every individual to kind of formulate their own thought and not be crazy about it, number one. And, you know, completely fuck off with humanity and just say, oh, everybody's awful. You know, and kind of treat everybody with the way you would want to be treated, right? I feel like this guy is getting attacked now because he didn't do that nearly enough. And he did a lot of attacking and subtle jabs. Maybe if they were jokes or not. I don't know. Again, I didn't watch any of this guy's content, but from the sound of it, that's kind of what it sounds like to me. Now, again, not okay, right? Don't misstate facts if you're just straight up misstating facts. You need to fact check as much as you possibly can from as many sources as you possibly can before you completely talk out of your ass. Again, college 101. I assume this guy got a degree. I assume these guys have degrees or at least have some knowledge about how to write an essay after doing video essays on subjects like this. Especially if you are a historian and a YouTuber. And this guy was going over films, historical films, whatever type of films from his eyes. And I get wanting to sprinkle in your perspective on things. That's fine. But, you know, it does seem to me like he may have misstated facts and just to misstate facts because maybe he didn't like something in the movie. It's entirely fucking possible. But, that's criticizing. That's absolutely criticizing. I don't know if it was nearly enough for not having any sympathy at all. That's what I'm going to get into. Not necessarily that this guy doesn't deserve criticism, because he does, as I stated. The amount of heartlessness in the criticism of some people, that needs to be fucking addressed. And I've seen it far too fucking often with so many commentators. But we're going to get into that when we get into that. That's the main crux of my perspective. That's what this video is about. Again, if there's more stuff that I'm missing about James Summerton, let me know in the comments. But that's the point. That's the point I'm going to be focusing on today.
Quickly went into damage control mode, deactivating his Twitter account and posting a message to his Patreon feed, apologizing and promising to make a more detailed statement in the near future.
We're going to read this statement out verbatim, so that way people know what he said. Hi, everyone. I want to just say that I'm very sorry. I'm in a terrible headspace right now, so I don't want to post anything too long, because I don't know where my brain will lead me. But I will say something more extensive once I've prepared myself emotionally. I know people want an immediate, detailed response, but I've never found immediate responses to anything, to be fair. To be as fair and honest as they could be. Always more driven by emotion than anything else. Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely. I feel you on that, dude. It's not my monkeys. I'm gonna wait until his response comes out, because I think that's the responsible thing to do. Right out of the gate as well. I'm in a terrible headspace right now, so I don't want to post anything too long, because I don't know where my brain will lead me. Now, he eventually did post a response because he felt pressured in doing so right out of the gate. I just want to point that out right now. He has since deleted that. I'm not going to play that video, but judging by what I know, like, a lot of people went after this guy. Probably, if it was justified, I don't know, but it seems very much like a witch hunt out of nowhere. That's kind of what my issue is, and we're going to get into why I think it's a problem.
This was before he deactivated his Patreon page as well. A look at his social blade reveals another drastic drop-off in subscribers, as he has lost nearly 60,000 since the H-Bomber Guy video. I can pretty definitively say that Mr. Summerton's channel is never coming back, as he becomes the next Illuminati. But that being said, I do want to end this video by playing the devil's advocate for just a second. At the end of the day, H-Bomber Guy could pretty much cancel any YouTuber he wants if he went through all of their content with a fine-tooth comb for a year and made a concise and intelligent video essay on the matter, picking apart all of their flaws. While in some cases it's deserved, other times you have to ask if an edgy joke in a plagiarized video makes someone deserving of having their livelihood taken away from them. But of course, Harry never said he wanted that to happen for any of these people, even if his fans do, and I think someone like the internet historian will be fine in the long run. That being said, I think it's an overall good if Harry's video starts a discussion for YouTubers to put more time into the content making process.
And judging by the sound of that, by the way, seems like it is the only positive from this. Now, I originally said I wasn't going to talk about this apology video. However, after hearing that again, because I had a second take of this is actually my take 2 because I fucked up on the layout of this. I'm actually going to watch the apology. And you're all going to watch it with me. Alright? Because I want to know what this guy says. Because maybe I'll get more information. Okay? Because I want to know what he may be waffling about. And also what he might be just not properly talking about, or what he's emotional about, what is factual. I want to know for myself, so I'm gonna actually watch this video, and yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So here we go. Man, this is gonna be an emotional one apparently. So yay, watching a guy cry, not fun, but here we go.
Hi everyone. I'm sorry for taking so long to make this video or to say anything. I'm in the hospital. I've been in the hospital for a little over a week. I tried to do something really stupid.
Real quick, I mean, if y'all don't know what doing something stupid means, I'll give this. Hopefully that kind of, hopefully the visual representation there just now in my little camera feed kind of gives you the idea of what he was trying to do. Not good. Obviously, that's bad. But anyway, we move.
I'm really only here now because before I did it, I called my dad to talk to him one more time, and he figured out something was wrong and called paramedics or 911 or... Anyway, they got here, and I woke up in the hospital, and yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay.
Anyway, I'm not trying to make this a sob.
Oh, wow. Hold on. Hold the fuck on. Alright. No, you know what? If I get... I'm going to just say right now, JJ, if you upload this as a fucking Throwback Thursday, highly recommend cut this part out. Because I have to go into detail about this, because now people need to know. And I'm not monetized, so I can get away with this, I think. Either he overdosed himself to try to kill himself, or he hung himself and he woke up in the hospital. So he actually went through with it and didn't succeed. So this is a failed suicide attempt. Holy shit. Alright, this changes the whole fucking thing. Oh boy. I got a lot more to say now that I heard that little nugget. That was not included in the video we're going to be watching after this. So, holy shit. I got a lot more to say now. And I try to be as calm as I fucking possibly could be, because that actually really pisses me off. But we'll move on. I'll continue. I want to listen to the rest of this guy. Again, I'm not saying he's right here by any means, but that's kind of irrelevant to the point. And you'll hear why as I go further in. But holy shit. Okay, now I know the severity of this. And we're going to continue, now that we know that.
Story. I'm just trying to explain why I've been so quiet.
Fair enough.
I had a friend from back home checking my emails and stuff. And yeah. But anyway,
Trying to gather his thoughts here on the sound of it.
I want to say that I'm really, really sorry. Really, really sorry. For the stuff in the videos, not crediting people and
Yeah. Again, taking
there were a
accountability.
lot of videos, you know, I did the opening titles thing, and I tried to put, like, this is based on this person's research or this person's book, but I know now that wasn't enough, that wasn't okay, and then there were a lot of times that there were a lot of times that stuff just got put in and there was no attempt at crediting anybody.
Okay. Admitted that right away. Sorry for a lot of dead air, by the way.
Really sorry.
I'm just gonna straight up say right now, if there's a lot of dead air, it ain't my fault. This guy, I'm gonna let this video play through because he's trying to gather his thoughts in real time as he's recording this. If there's dead air for that, my apologies. That's just how it has to be. So just right out of the gate right there, just please be respectful about this. I'm gonna keep listening because right away I'm already hearing him take accountability, apologizing for that. Even outright saying he fucked up there. So, accountability thing number 1. Done. Alright, boom.
And I'm not sorry that I got caught. I'm sorry for ever doing it. I honestly.
Admitting he was wrong. Not because he got caught. Sounds genuine to me.
Didn't realize that I was hurting people.
Didn't realize you were hurting people? Yep. Now you do.
And now that I know that I was hurting people,
Reality hits you like a Mac.
really sorry.
Yep. I'm kind of ad-libbing for him, but I get what he's saying here. Got ya. Yep.
I lost my best friend because of this. Nick and I had been best friends since 2011 or 12. We'd been friends online, and then he lived in Ottawa, and I moved to Ottawa so that we could be, like, friends in person. And then we moved back to... I moved back to Nova Scotia, and Nick came with me, and then we eventually moved to the Toronto area, and we lived together for 7 years, 8 years.
Jeez.
We lived together for a really long time.
I will say, in one of the points of the video I'm going to be playing later, the point of it's completely irrelevant to the situation at hand, I agree with. This is where I think his emotions are kind of taking over him. he admits that himself in the Patreon post. I think his emotions kind of got the best of him here. But I will say, just to kind of give him the respect, because even though I don't know this guy from hole in the wall, I don't even watch this content before. Losing somebody that you thought was a best friend, I'll tell you right now, dude, that sucks. I've lost plenty of people who I thought were good to me, and turned out they were the worst thing for me. And when I found out that they were that bad, cut them off like a freaking bad habit. Or vice versa, they did it to me because they thought something of me, and sometimes you kind of need that to kind of better yourself. And I know that's hard to hear now, but since nobody else is saying that to you, I'm going to tell you that right now. It does get better with time. It will hurt for a little bit, but it gets better with time. You cannot fucking just, You could obviously grieve. I think in this case, you grieved here in public. You probably should have kept that private. But again, I think his emotions took the best of him here and kind of brought up an irrelevant point. I think in his point, this is part of his apology. I just want to straight up say that right now. I think it's half, it doesn't fit in, and the more I think about it, it kind of does, because I think what he's trying to say, and maybe I'm putting words in his mouth, but from what it sounds like, he hurt his friend by doing what he did, by not crediting the sources, which he outright admits to doing that he didn't do properly. So, yeah, that ain't good. I mean, that ain't good, dude, and I'm glad you admitted that ain't good. And he apologized for those things. So, I will say this. If he is your friend, and you think he's your friend, he'll stick with you. If he ain't, I mean, that's some bullshit. I mean, you don't need somebody like that in your life, bro. I would just say move on as best as you can, because he ain't the friend you thought he was. Put it that way. Anyway, we move. We're going to listen to what the rest of this guy says.
And, he hasn't spoken to me since this happened. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to make this a sob story. I should have got some Kleenex. But again, I'm really, really, really sorry for the things that I did in the videos. Copying people's work and not crediting them properly or at all.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to apologize for the misinformation.
Okay, enough.
Outright lies.
Outright. Just apologize for that. Cool. Get better at that. Get better at that, my guy. Please. Because Lord knows we have enough misinformation. That said, you aren't the only one guilty of this, dude. Like, there's so many people that are fucking guilty of that thing that you are apologizing for. You're the first person that I actually heard that has actually apologized and genuinely feel bad about that. So, that's good. You got the 2 steps right there. You actually felt bad, and you're actually taking accountability for fucking up there. Now, you need to start hitting that home run, and you need to not do that again, and you need to find ways and get a team around you that will make sure you don't do that type of shit again. But that will also treat you like a fucking human being as well. Like, get that team around you. Trust me, it does wonders for you, my guy. It really does. So, I'm already liking this. Already liking this apology. There's not many YouTube apology videos that I fucking rate, but this one's one of them. So, continuing.
It ended up in the videos. I honestly say that I never intended for any of that stuff to be in the videos. In most cases, I didn't write it, but I should have. It was my face on the channel. It was my name on the channel. I should have been.
Doing more due diligence. Yep.
I
Okay.
should have been more diligent
Yep.
about fact checking and stuff.
Being him right to the punch. He already said it
There was a lot
himself.
of really
Good.
stupid shit in there. It's just so easy to check, and I just never did. I just took it for granted.
Okay, so he's got a bad team around him, but also he should have done more due diligence in checking the shit. Apologize for both of those.
I want to thank H Bomber Guy and his team for setting up the fund.
I don't even know what the
To make
fund
some
is.
money available for the authors that were wronged,
Wow.
and the journalists and writers and
Wow. That's a first. Okay. I've heard... let me put it this way. I've heard plenty of people that have plagiarized. I don't even think fucking Matthew Santoro ever said thank you for raising a fund for people they took the work from. Especially from a guy that actually knows he fucked up. So this is a first. So, good on H Bomber Guy. Didn't know that, so a little bit more respect there.
I want to help somehow. I don't know how.
Oh.
I've seen a lot of people online saying how much money I apparently make, and they're way overestimating. Beyond the fact that Nick and I split everything 50-50, they're still way overestimating how much money came in.
Okay.
And the Toronto area is expensive, so there's not really any kind of savings. I'm moving home really soon.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I mean, this is going to be a long one, guys, so bear with me, but okay. So, just judging by that, it does sound like this definitely impacted him financially, and they were way overestimating how much he was actually making. So, therefore, he's moving home. So, he's not even living in the home that he's currently at right now. So, Lord knows what the hell is going to happen there. Shit. Alright. Again, I think it's irrelevant to the video, but I think kind of is as well. I think it's half and half. I don't think it's too irrelevant, only because I guess that must have been part of the things that were said. So, there you go.
There's nothing for me here, and like I said, it's really expensive. And so I want to thank them for setting up that fund, and I want to help somehow. The only thing I can think of right now is to make most of the videos public again. And every month I can send the ad revenue from all of the past videos. 'Cause there were plenty that didn't have any uncredited stuff in them.
I think you should. That's a great idea. I don't know if people want to say, well, the damage is done. Like, I don't know about that. I mean, money's money. I can see him doing that. I mean, give it a shot. I don't know. Like, he's saying all the ad revenue. I could see him doing that. That would help. I can't see why people would be so against that. That's actually brilliant. So, good on you for that idea. I hope that actually goes through, and I hope you stick to that. But yeah, let's continue on.
But I can make them public again, and then every month I can send the AdSense to either I can send it to H Bomber Guy's team that they can add to the fund, or I can start a fund myself. And every month I can publicly say how much money was made on the AdSense and show it, and
Donate
send
that
that to the writers and stuff every month. I don't know.
Okay, so work in
what the
progress, but you're
system
thinking
for that
of
would
ideas.
be, but I'd be more than happy to do that. And, you know, some of the videos, like the killing stalking video, brought in like a pretty decent amount of money every month, so that would be helpful, I think.
I'm just gonna speed this up, by the way.
I also put either in the description or the pinned comment the names of the authors, so that anyone watching the video knows where all of the information came from. That it wasn't me going out doing journalism. I never thought anyone thought that I was doing like journalism and stuff. And I don't think anyone did. But the people who actually were doing it should have been given the credit that they deserve. They did the hard work. All I did is edit the video.
Okay, so he's a guy that got big on YouTube that wasn't trying to be a serious journalist, but that was interested in the topic, that had a serious lapse of judgment on crediting people. That's what this sounds like to me. Okay. I don't see this guy as a fucking complete a-hole yet. I'm waiting for something egregious to come up here. Again, maybe there is. I'm going to look up another video and see if I can get some context. Some context. I have yet to see one fucking point where he looks like a dick. And if anything, he looks like he's trying to rectify the fucking situation.
They did the hard work and they deserved the credit. Sorry about that. The phone stopped recording. Yes, they deserved credit. And when it was something like the recent History of Hollywood videos, right there in the opening credits, I put the Overso's name that it was adapted from his book, The Hollywood Closet. Same thing went for the Gay Panic video and the Gay Holocaust video. The Gay Holocaust video was adapted from 2 books, and the Gay Panic video was adapted from a lot of journalism. And I put their names right at the beginning of the video.
Okay.
But I understand that that's not how citation works. Now, I understand that again. And I want to do better.
He wants to do better.
No, because I did bad shit. But I want to try and do better. At some point, I'd like to make videos again.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to do videos that are fully sourced, where I will put a link to the script, where you can find all the sources, so that everyone is properly given the credit that they deserve, any kind of research that's done, credit for any B-roll that's used, whether it's like stock footage or movies or TV shows or video games or anything like that. Have it all in there. I would like to become a really, really good example of giving proper credit to writers and journalists. I know a lot of you watching this aren't really going to care, and you'd rather I just disappear. But I would like to try to do better. I never, ever intended to hurt anybody. I never thought that's what I was doing. Before I went to the hospital, I read a lot of stuff from people who were really hurt. Not just authors and stuff, but people who watched my videos who were hurt by stuff in them. People think that I hate gay people and women and bisexual people and lesbians. That's not true.
All right, so
it's not true. I'm sorry, this stuff made it into videos that just shouldn't have been there. Misinformation and lies. I promise you, I did not write that stuff.
Okay, so there was issues there. I assume that this is where this shit stems from. I don't know if he's being factual with that or if there's holes there. I'm gonna find out. Obviously, I want to learn more as I go through this. This is kind of an impromptu thing that I'm doing anyway, as it is. So might as well fucking treat it like it.
I should have been a lot more exacting when Nick and I would be editing scripts, but I promise you that those are not, I don't think those things. I specifically want to apologize to asexual people who feel like I just completely delegitimize you. Nick being ace, I know it's kind of like, no two gay people are exactly the same, no two ace people are exactly the same, but I kind of, when it came to that, I would just kind of run with Nick's judgment and his observations and stuff like that. I'm not trying to throw Nick under the bus with a bunch of people saying that I was setting him up as doing, which is not true. This whole thing, Nick and I were 50-50 partners. It wasn't I hired him to have a scapegoat or something like that. I never hired Nick. Nick and I were roommates for years before I started doing YouTube videos. And then people started watching them. And I asked Nick if he wanted to help me write them. And he said yes, and we started splitting the first AdSense, and then Patreon, and then the sponsorships. We just split everything. Nick was never supposed to be a fall guy. I'm sorry. Maybe I should have waited longer to do this. But yeah, I did not. I don't think those things. I don't think Nick does either. I think it was just how fast we were writing stuff and how fast we were putting videos. It was too fast.
Okay, so judging by everything that I'm hearing, there was jokes said, and this is my interpretation of how fast I just put this video on, because I want this to go quicker than it is. Judging by just what I heard, and I was very intently listening, this guy was doing this stuff with this guy named Nick, and they were writing edgy jokes from the sound of it. I assume that's where the edgy joke bit comes from in Gamer of Mars's video. And essentially, they were writing these jokes, and it was in poor taste, and people got offended, and they went crazy about it. That's what it sounds like. Okay, so there we go. Trying to defend himself on that point that he doesn't actually think those things.
I've seen a lot of people on social media and other YouTubers even lying about me, but other H. Palmer guy was not one of them. I just want to be clear about that.
H. Palmer's not one of them. Okay, so this is the main guy who criticized him.
It was never a grift or anything like that. I swear, it was not. It is not. In the next couple of days, I'm going to send out a message to the Telos supporters on Indiegogo and explain the whole situation in more detail to them, because we were not super clear about everything that was going on with Telos, and so I understand why it seems like we weren't doing anything, but we were. We were doing a lot of work on Telos. We were talking about it because we made that initial first announcement for Final Girl, and that fell through, and I'll explain that to the message I sent out to the supporters, which I'm sure will end up on Reddit or somewhere. After that, we didn't want to talk about it too much until we had something really concrete, and I'll explain all of that in that message.
Okay.
Telos was and is not a grift. I was never going to take the money and run. None of the money that came in for Telos was ever going to be paying me or Nick. It was going to be paying queer actors and artists, musicians, things like that. I know there's lots of talk about budgets and all this stuff, and people saying I'm really stupid for thinking that a movie could be made for that little money, but there are examples of it being done, and I actually do have a work ethic. Anyway,
Okay.
but yeah, anyway, I do want to keep making videos. I know a lot of you won't watch them, and that's fine. But I really like making videos. We ended up making a lot of videos we didn't want to make, because people were asking for them, and so there were a lot of videos we made that we didn't want to make, and I think those videos are very clear on which ones those were. One of them never got officially released. It was released to patrons. Some patrons have shared it to other people before all the videos went private. And a lot of people hate the analysis that Nick and I did on it. And so maybe it's good that that never got properly released, because maybe it would have hurt people. And I don't want that. But I do want to make videos again sometime. I'd love to do like retrospectives on important game movies. if you watch the channel Behind Rewind, they're an amazing channel. They do a lot of retrospectives on older Hollywood movies, and I would love to do that for gay movies. A lot of gay movies, people my age and younger have never heard of, things like Force Song Trilogy and Long Companion and stuff like that, movies from the 70s and 80s and the 90s, and things that were like really influential for gay cinema that no one talks about. And you know, I'd like to talk about those, not just those movies, but how they got made and stuff like that. I would love to do something like that. I swear on my mother's grave that there will be no copying people, no copy and pasting. Every source will be cited in a document and on screen.
I don't need to listen to that anymore. I mean, I might miss something. You guys will let me know. Please do. If I'm missing something in between 20 minutes and 6 seconds to all the way to 45, let me know. But judging by just his apology video, this is the first one I've seen where everything he said, he took accountability for, even though he was super emotional and did involve things that did involve things and half didn't involve things. Sounded like he apologized for everything, took accountability for the shit he fucked up on. Sounds like it to me. Alright. I mean, I'm not even going to go to Charlie's video yet, because I can't. Screw it. I'm gonna look up more information, because again, there has to be something more that I'm missing. I don't want to I have yet to hear something yet. I'm not trying to form a bias. I'm legit trying to figure out here if this guy fucked up here. Let's get this started here. Shut the fuck up, ad. I don't care. I can't even use ad blocker because YouTube will not allow it anymore. Thanks, YouTube. You suck. Alright, I'm gonna put this shit on 2 times speed because yet it's another 29-minute video. Here we go. Alright. Here we go.
Hey there, interwebs. I hope you're all doing well. So, this is a video that I did not expect to be filming right now, considering that I actually should be packing because I'm traveling tomorrow to go visit family and I've got none of my packing done. So this is some last minute packing shenanigans that are going to happen here in the next little bit. But James Summerton recently released an apology video, and quite frankly, having watched the whole thing, which I should not have, it really, really deeply upset me. It angered me, and I kind of want to talk about it. Not just to vent my anger and frustration, because if this was just going to be a venting session, I do it privately amongst friends, but because James Summerton did so much demonstrable damage and harm to not just me specifically. In fact, in my opinion, other people may disagree about it because I know there's worse, but in my opinion, I small potatoes to the other people that he harmed in terms of his plagiarism, the delegitimizing of the asexual community, his misogyny, whether it was intentional or not in his videos, the outright disinformation that he spread, and even more specifically in my mind, behind those direct harms, the harm he did to his audience, not just taking their money, but to the fact that, he plagiarized from the queer community, especially from a lot of dead queer authors as well, who died from like HIV, who were activists in the field, and he was doing videos for a younger queer audience, not exclusively, but in a large amount, who could have had access to these larger parts of the queer community or queer history that he denied to his audience access to, by not even just citing them, in a time where queer people and trans people especially are under attack at the moment. Being able to find community, being able to find resources, being able to find just the words and the people to look up to in our community is deeply important, and to deny people that I think is an unspeakable harm at the moment, beyond all the very clear like monetizable or direct harms that he caused to people directly. And I don't mean to minimize those either, but it just all goes together. So James has caused a lot of harm. And
wait, what did he say? Okay,
or direct harms that he caused to people directly. And I don't mean to minimize those either, but it just all goes together. So James is caused, and to deny people that I think is an unspeakable harm at the moment, beyond all the very clear like monetizable or direct harms that he caused to people directly. And I don't mean to minimize those either, but it just all goes together. So James has caused a lot of harm.
Okay. So maybe there's something I'm missing. We're about to hear it from this guy. I'm trying to hear from why he's
frankly,
so angry.
People deserve an apology. Frankly, this video was not that. And I just need to discuss why it really, really perturbed me in a lot of ways. So the first thing that I guess I really need to address up front is the fact that he starts off his video talking about how he just got out of the hospital for, and content warning here, attempting suicide, attempting to harm himself. And frankly, starting the video off that way is emotionally manipulative in a lot of different ways. I'm not even going to question whether or not he is, truthful in that feeling, or if that did happen. I will take him at his word that it is. But even if that is the case, starting off your video, that should be an apology video. Crying, saying, I almost tried to die by suicide, I was in the hospital, in a video that should be an apology, should be focused on apologizing to the people you harmed, takes away that chance for the victims of your actions to be centered, and instead makes it about you. And I'm not trying to delegitimize his emotions, but if he is feeling that way, if he is in that mental state, and quite frankly, I can understand if he is, he became the villain of the week, the month, the year online. And while yes, he absolutely deserves to be called out for his harm, that has to be really, really shitty to feel. I mean, I'm someone who's been harassed by many people. I got harassed by J.K. Rowling around this time last year, and that nearly destroyed my mental health for shit that I know is bullshit because it was J.K. Rowling's absolute transphobia, leading her followers to attack me. But I know that it sucks, deserves or not. And so he quite possibly is in that place. And if he is, you owe it to the people that you are going to try to apologize to take the time to be in a state where you can focus on them and actually apologize to them. If you are not in a state to make that like emotional labor and restitution to the people that you harm, then you shouldn't be making a video right now. Go.
That's fair. That is okay. This guy kind of got me rough around the edges right now. There was something that he said in this video that I think is gross that he just said, and then there was one where he kind of redeemed himself quite a bit here. First off, let's just get this out of the way. The phrase is the unspeakable harm right now. I think if there's stuff that I'm not knowing that he may have directly harmed people, I think that's out the window. No. I mean, you're delegitimizing even if that's not your intention. In fairness, he did kind of correct himself, so I'll give him a pass on that. But then he just said, you shouldn't have made that video if you were going to be that emotional, even if it wasn't your intention to emotionally manipulate. You should have waited to fucking film the video when you weren't in that state. I think that's fair. And I think in fairness to James Summerton, definitely should do a better video afterwards, after that, okay? However, let's just get this out of the way now. I do think that you are not going to be in control of anybody else, no matter who the fuck you are. And I think this idea that any commentator that feels like they have a voice or an audience, that feels like they are going to control how people feel, you are a fucking idiot. You just are. I don't think that's okay. I think the idea that you're gonna go and say that this guy, should be doing his due diligence on his apology videos and everything else, okay, all that may be fair, that's well and good, but because you hear things, that immediately disproves everything else he just said. I literally heard his video. I heard the same thing you did. I don't even know what his name is, by the way. I'm going to just give this guy the proper source. Jesse Gender After Dark, okay? Jesse Gender. I don't know you from a hole in the wall either, but I heard what you heard. I agree with what you heard, and I agree that it's at least a fair point. That doesn't mean I have to agree with it. I think this idea that you have to fucking look at a video and then say, this guy shouldn't say this because it's not relative to the story. I think maybe the suicide thing, sure, okay. But at the end of the day, stuff fucking happened. And I don't think you should illegitimize that by saying it's emotionally manipulative, even if he didn't intend to. I assume he did that video right when he got out of the hospital. One, because he was pressured by everybody else to do so, and two, because he felt like he had to make some sort of response. And number two, why is it his job and why is it anybody else's job to fucking control how they feel? You should control how you dissect the situation. I did it. I called him out on some shit that wasn't really good. I even said in this podcast, hey, this guy probably shouldn't have made this video when he's that fucking rough. I still went and listened to the fucking video. I didn't get that angry. Then again, I'm not gay. I'm not going to claim I am. I'm not at all. I've never been on that fence. But, like, well, and even if I was on that fence, I'm definitely not deeply in this fence as this guy is, by the way. Maybe there was a time in my life, I don't fucking know, probably when I was a teen, to be honest, or like way younger. But, I know I'm straight, I like being straight, so I don't know how that feels, and maybe that's where a lot of your anger comes from, and fair enough. But then I hear, people like Charlie saying the same shit. So then again, like, he's a cis white male too. So I guess he's just fucking calling him out for his shit. And I understand being pissed about that, but at the same time, you're so illegitimizing how he feels, and you're illegitimizing what he said in his fucking apology video just because he fucking looked sad and upset. When he had probably just recorded the video when he came right back from the hospital. That is so much unnecessary fucking pressure. Take the whole thing in. Don't get angry about one fucking thing in the video. And I assume this guy didn't, because he made a 29 video on this fucking thing. And just fucking be responsible. Be responsible with the information in the video. Like, am I the only one that heard that this guy wants to make right and try to fucking make ad revenue to give back to the artist that he wronged in the guy's, I forget his name now, H-Bomber's freaking fundraiser? Am I the only one that heard that? Am I going crazy? Does nobody, catch that? Anyway, we move.
And take the time. Take the time in private to be able to be in a place to do what you need to do to make restitution to those who you harmed. Because I get it. I get it if you're not in a place to be able to do the emotional labor to make that restitution. But you owe it to your victims to, when you do speak about the harm that you caused, to censor them. So get to a place where you can do that. And if that takes time, that takes time. And yes, people say you need to do it right now, but frankly, take the time you need to be able to do what is going to help everyone heal as best they can from the harm that you caused. You owe it to them, and you owe it to yourself, which James did not do here. Secondly, people are going to question the validity of this because of his history of lying, of plagiarizing, of making disinformation. By starting off a video saying, I've been suicidal, and making the video sort of have this framing as about what happened to you in this situation, it's going to make people, whether it's true or not, question whether it's actually, you actually feel this way, or if you're just doing it to get sympathy. Being honest, people are going to do that. I've already seen people doing that. And so, if it is dishonest, fuck off. Fuck you for doing that manipulation. But even if it's not, it's going to cause you more harm because you're going to see people questioning the validity of your earnestness. And so it's going to affect your mental health too. So either way, it's bad. And if it isn't earnest, and it's just this way to try and stop the bleeding, to try and save your career, or something like that, to gain the sympathy points, then fuck all the way off. It also should be said that starting off his video this way is also going to paint those who made videos about his plagiarism, like H-Bomber Guy, or his disinformation like Todd in the Shadows, or his just generally crappy behavior like myself and Ace Couples and numerous others. It paints them, us, as the ones who pushed him to this point. I've already seen people on Twitter and X saying, whether they intended to or not, Harry pushed a man into this mental state, referring to H-Bomber Guy, which is...
Maybe, just maybe, just a thought. Just a fucking thought. Be more reasonable like I am and say what he actually did wrong, and don't criticize the fact that he may have actually gone through that, regardless if he's telling the truth or not. And don't assume somebody's intentions. What a fucking thought! Mind-blowing revelation. How hard is that? Just... Oh my god, this guy pissed me off again. Just do that. Just do that. It's not hard. Don't assume that he's lying, and don't fucking go with the goddamn crowd. Actually take some responsibility and discourage that type of behavior, because regardless if it's fucking true or not, mob mentality should just die off anyway. And there should be a fucking proper, due diligence on this case. Let it sort out. Get the proper people involved. Alright? Apparently, H-Bomber may have done, okay? Do the right things in that aspect. Call him out for the shit he fucked up on. Yes, 100% for that. But fuck me. Nobody seems to understand that, and from the sound of it, this sounds like his first big offense. And I understand it's okay, he's done this multiple times, but as a whole, it's his first big offense, is not taking the proper amount of time to credit his sources correctly. Which, it sounds like it was a team effort on that fucking fuck up, by the way. I don't know who Nick is, but apparently it was Nick and James that fucked that up there. So, again, like, that's fine. But then don't question his intention on his fucking apology video. That's bullshit. Like, if you know it's obviously bullshit, and there was evidence to back that up, fair enough. But to then question somebody's intention with their apology video, with whatever the fuck they bring up in that video, regardless if it seems emotional or not, to then question his intention with no evidence to back that up? Now fuck off, dude. You're the asshole. This guy just pissed me off now.
It's not the case. H-Bomber Guy pointed out the shitty actions that James did. They hold no responsibility for this. In fact, even in H-Bomber Guy's video, he said, do not harass James Summerton. And look, I'm going to be very fair. Like I said, he became the villain of the week, and got probably a shit ton of harassment. And to be clear, no one should face harassment. Period. Full stop. He should be held accountable. Harassment is absolutely gross. It happens in our day and age, and it is unacceptable. I don't even want to be those people that say, but it's just something that happens nowadays. You gotta do it. It's like, no, it is absolutely, completely unacceptable.
But you're harassing him by judging his intention. That's the point of this video, by the way, in case you didn't fucking know what the theme was today. We'll get into another video where that does that fuckingly, by the way. From a guy I respect most of the time, by the way.
But again, if your goal is to apologize to those who you did harm to.
Oh, for fuck's sake with these goddamn ads. Piss off.
You need to understand that you need to be responsible with how you discuss this harm. That is an offshoot of your own actions. I'm not saying it's deserved. I'm not saying you
sorry,
should
like,
this,
I'm not. And by the way, I said that in this case. Normally, I'd let the ad play through when I'm doing a video like this, but this guy pissed me off. So, like, you're lucky you get freaking whatever the amount was before I skipped the ad, bud. Like, that was egregious what you just said.
Be aware of if you're trying to make restitutions, what this is going to do to the people who are trying to push back against your harm, and this is only going to vilify those people. But as H-Bomber Guy talked about in his own video, James has a pattern of this. There were people who accused him of plagiarism, who then James said they had sent people to harass him, or they had harassed him, when in actuality they had just pointed out his plagiarism. Hell, it happened to me. I pointed out that he said that that there were no queer creators or people creating queer content on Nebula, and I said, hey, look, I'm there, Maggie Fish is there, Abigail Thorne is there, Princess Weeks is there, numerous other queer creators are there, Cat Black, I can go on, I could name a full freaking list of people.
Okay. Overgeneralization in general is wrong. I'll give this guy that point. Fine, fair enough.
And then he claimed that my audience was going to harass him. Like, that was his defense mechanism. And again, maybe he faced some level of harassment, but it's like, if you are going to own up to the harm that you caused, be aware of how you're also talking about or going to frame the people who are trying in the first place to point out what harm you did. And that's not to excuse the harassment, it's not to deny his experience or his emotions, but it is also to say, an apology video is meant to center your victims. And by doing this, it is not only not doing that, it is having an offshoot effect of bringing anger to the people who pointed out your shittiness. And that gets into this next point, is that the video really isn't an apology. He actually spends a lot of the time of the video talking about how he wants to make up for things so that he can continue making videos. He says throughout the video that he's going to restart his Patreon. He repeatedly states he wants to make videos again. He even at one point describes a video that he still wants to make as if he's pitching it as like, well, if I get to make videos, you'll get this sort of thing. And it comes across as like all he can do in his head is, I don't even want to get into his head. It just comes across as
holy shit, you have completely missed the mark on this guy. I don't even know this guy. And I already... That's not what he fucking said, you donut. That's not what he said at all. He said he wants to start up his Patreon and wants to start up making videos again, and every person that he makes a video on, he'll credit, he'll do the right thing on, and he also said any videos that he did in the past, he will donate that money to the fund that fucking H-Bomber made. What do you mean? Are we watching the same video? Did we really interpret it that fucking differently? And you're saying that you're not fucking harassing him. You are completely leaving those facts out of the fucking video that he fucking posted. That's awful. Not only did you judge his intentions, but now you're just fucking wrong, dude. Now you're fucking spreading lies and misinformation. That's fucking gross. Like, even if it is true, I don't know that. Nobody fucking knows that, and you don't have the fucking evidence to sit there in your fucking chair and fucking point out and point the finger and say, yeah, that's what he's doing. You don't know that. What the fuck?
Just only worried about how things affect you, and it makes the center about you, and even tries to like put this thing of like, you'll get these things if you continue to support me, out there, for people to be who.
He mentioned, Another thing that's a lie. He mentioned multiple times that he feels bad about the people he fucking harmed, but okay. Didn't just focus on himself. That's also an outright lie. And it wasn't half of the video, by the way. I literally just watched it as you guys watched it with me, so that's bullshit.
May still like have an attachment, emotional attachment to him, because people attach to him, and I understand why. He made videos with good points in them, whether they were his or not.
I'm not attached to any of you fuckers, so that's also a fucking lie. Okay.
And people latch on to that, and so to use that to say, hey, you can still get more from me, is just gross. It's absolutely gross. Speaking on those things, his mention of like this Patreon thing, he said he's reactivating it so that people can quit out of it. But not a lot of people may not even know that he will reactivate it. They may not watch this video, may be so angry about it that they're not going to check, and then they might get charged at the beginning of the month. What you should do is just leave it off. Never reactivate it again. That's what you should just say. You say, I'm never going to reactivate it again. The other thing that he said he was going to do was reactivate, or he wants to do at the very least, and this seems to be a play to be able to see if that test the water, if that's possible, is to reactivate.
What did he say?
Leave it off. Activating it so that people can quit out of it. But not a lot of people may not even know that he will reach his Patreon. Still get more from me is just gross. It's absolutely gross. Speaking on those things, his mention of like this Patreon thing, he said he's reactivating it so that people can quit out of it. But not a lot of people may not even know that he will reactivate it. They may not watch this video, may be so angry about it that they're not going to check, and then they might get charged at the beginning of the month. What you should do is just leave it off. Never reactivate it again. That's what you should just say. You say, I'm never going to reactivate it again. The other thing that he said he was going to do was reactivate, or he wants to do at the very least, and this seems to be a play.
Okay, he said he wanted to reactivate it so that way any fucking amount that he makes he would donate to the H-Bombers Fund. At least that's what he outright stated. Again, I'm going to wait and hold my judgment on that until he actually does it. You want to say that if he actually... Okay, I can't say he will or won't. Actions speak louder than words. Cool, fine. But to tell somebody else how to run their shit, regardless of if they fucked up or not, worry about yourself, dude. Fuck off. Oh, I just muted like an idiot.
To the people that he plagiarized from. And it's like, no, you should just say, I'm never going to reactivate it again. The other thing that he said he was going to do was reactivate, or he wants to do at the very least, and this seems to be a play to be able to see if that test the waters, if that's possible, is to reactivate the video so he can give the money back to the people that he plagiarized from. And it's like, no, you should not be getting any money, should not be going through you at all to be able to get that money back. What you should, those videos are not properly accredited, even if you put in the description, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, and the money, you should be getting no money. We shouldn't be trusting on some honor system that you will give the money back. What you should do is delete all those videos and make a comprehensive list of all the people that he plagiarized and put that out there. You do the work to do that, because I'm sure he didn't keep a detailed list of all the people that he plagiarized. He should go back and backtrack, do all the work, because people right now are trying to figure out how, if he plagiarized from them, because H-Bomber Guy has put together a fund in order to pay back, using the money from his video, to be able to pay back the creators that James plagiarized from.
That's a fair point. I'll give this guy that. That's a fair point. That's actually a better alternative. I agree with this, actually. Very much agree with this. Probably a better use of his time, to be honest. And not the easy way out. Maybe he should take the hard way out. You did the crime, do the time type mentality. Take the work, make a list, comprehensive list, put it out, make a video separate of all the people you plagiarized from, and put that list out there on the ether, as well as on your video, and a link in the description, and an iCard, whatever you gotta do, so that people can easily access it, and then credit them. And then go on as you would. I agree with what this guy said. That part, I actually agree with. I'll give you that point. Fair enough. That's actually a better idea than what, James Summerton made. Okay, fair enough.
Or pay some of the money to the people that he plagiarized from. So what he should do is try to help make that list.
Fine. Fair
How
enough.
can you trust the reviews?
Another ad. Sorry, guys. I have to... Just bear with
Throughout that, also, by the way, he downplays a bunch of other things. He says at one point, there's still some videos that weren't plagiarized from. I have maybe that's true. Maybe there were videos that he didn't plagiarize at all to make. But I have a hard time believing that or being able to trust that. So it comes across to a degree as trust me, there's totally I did some good work, beyond this. Again, I can't know, and there's no way I can know because your plagiarism has destroyed my trust in you to ever do that. Not to mention, he doesn't really go in deeply to any of the allegations against him. He mentions H-Bomber Guy's video in the plagiarism, but he also doesn't mention Todd in the Shadows video, where Todd in the Shadows quite literally goes through all of the active disinformation that he put in his videos, just complete mistakes or issues or just flat wrong, made-up information that he put into his videos. Doesn't address that at all.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He outright said he didn't address it, I think, fully, but he did mention it in a couple of cases. He may not have mentioned a direct video. I'm going to you to find out what direct video it is. Okay, you're saying the YouTuber, fair enough. Shouldn't have done that. But what he did say was it was also a team effort, and that was bad on both of their ends. So that was addressed. And I think he did a more general addressing of that. He may make another video at some point down the road, which is maybe the reason why he actually took down the apology video that I just watched, to actually do that proper. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. But he did mention this. So the idea that he didn't bring it up at all, that's also bullshit. And it's just him being way too fucking angry and shit. You know, you want to talk about emotional manipulation. Anger is an emotional manipulator too. Maybe you should have fucking calmed down before you actually watched that fucking video and actually digested it in chunks, and then maybe you wouldn't be so angry about it. Or maybe, I don't fucking know, get proper fucking authorities involved and don't fucking get emotional about it. Or get somebody that has never been involved in this, or anybody else, to look at that video and judge what he should do, what he shouldn't do, and kind of go from there. Look at other videos and make a comprehensive idea on what to do. James Summerton should do that as well. So, not only are you guilty of that not only is James Summerton guilty of that motherfucker, but so are you. So, I don't even want to hear that shit.
He also, by the way, mentions that there's other YouTubers out there lying about him. Which, by the way, I made a video about him. I have receipts for the things that I said about him. I didn't say that much that couldn't be proven by just looking at Twitter, but the few things that, you know, if he ever wants to question me on, I have proof of what I've said. The point of him...
No. You are lying about him because you're judging his intention. You don't know what his intentions are. That is outright a lie. So, yeah, you are lying about him. Don't fucking chat shit. You know you lied about him. That's just outright a lie that you just made up. You literally, in this same video, just fucking called him out and judged his intention on what he's gonna do with the money, what he wants to do, how he wants to go about this, and said he's a fucking horrible human being. That's absolutely lying about somebody when you don't know their actual intentions, and regardless if you trust them or not. That's bullshit, alright? Plain and simple.
Him saying that is not to, like, allude to me specifically or allude to anyone specifically. The point of him saying there are YouTubers out there lying about me is intentionally to not name names, because he will then put this, like, seed of doubt in his audience's mind that anyone besides H. Bomber Guy, which he says, yes, H. Bomber Guy was correct, though he was, the extent of my plagiarism wasn't as bad as H. Bomber Guy alluded to. He even, like, talks about telefilms, which we'll get to in a minute. But he says, you know, there's other YouTubers lying. It's meant to have this, like, kernel of doubt that when someone else goes out and finds another video, or someone talking about James Summerton, whether it be Dan Olsen's discussion of, like, his money spending habits with his cameras and stuff, or the Ace Couple, which is a wonderful asexual YouTube channel discussing how James's words against the asexual community, you know, regardless if it's any of those videos, now people might have a kernel of doubt, like, are they lying about him? He didn't say, I don't know. So they can't trust anybody if they put any stuff.
I'm just gonna make this general point. You know how many people that have made jokes about my autistic tendencies? I'm autistic. Now, it ain't the same as being gay or bi or anything, but I'm autistic. I've gotten so many fucking people that have made jokes, okay? I don't take it that personally. Unless I know they are genuinely meaning harm in what they say, like, and there's a genuine undertone to it, and you can just kind of tell. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. Bro, I've made jokes, and I'll throw myself under the bus. I don't even care. I made a joke that, hey, we're taking the R word back because, and R being retard, by the way, because they used it as a discriminatory thing for so long. Kind of like how the black people used it in a, you know, they took the N-word back as a connotation, all that shit. That was the joke, right? I said it to a black guy who was also special needs, and he found it fucking hilarious. That's just taking life too seriously at that point, if you're going to dissect every fucking thing that he ever said in one video. Now, I don't know if they were serious, I don't know if they were jokes, I don't know enough about that. But I think taking everything he says at face value and thinking that he was doing that intentionally when he straight up said he isn't. At least, at worst, you may be right and he's completely lying. At best, he was just trying to make a bad joke. Or at the least, if it wasn't a joke, or like in the middle somewhere, he was just grossly, like, not understanding the assignment of making a video essay. Okay? Like, that's all that is. It's one of the three. But don't judge until you don't know. I want to wait before I judge people. I think that's what we should all fucking make a New Year's resolution. How about we do that? Oh, wait, we won't, because the internet has rotted our fucking minds. Jesus Christ.
In his words, which they shouldn't at this point, but that's the goal of that vagueness. If you have issues with somebody's like claims against you, say who they are, and make your case. But he doesn't. He also, speaking of the ace couple, the ace couple did a wonderful video talking about, his issues with discussing asexuality. And in his apology video, James says at one point, I am sorry to any asexual people who felt delegitimized by my words. Again, not actually taking ownership. He's not saying I'm sorry for making people feel delegitimized. He's saying, I'm sorry that they felt that way. And again, not claiming ownership of his actions because,
because he clearly stated, judging by his words, he didn't mean it. So you're assuming that he did mean it and that he didn't take responsibility. I mean, maybe he should have worded it differently, but to me it's like, okay, you can't just apologize for something that ain't true. I'm sorry that it felt that way is the only fucking safe way right now. Because he would be dishonest to himself. He feels he wasn't trying to do that legitimately. And if he did, it was unintentional. That's what he's saying. That was what happened in his eyes. You can't then just say, but he did it anyway. You don't know that. You don't know if that was his words, or if that was Nick's words, or if that was a combined effort, or if it was something he really felt, and he felt gross, and it was a gross thing that he actually said, and he meant it with conviction. You don't know that shit. So stop pretending you do.
That was his intent. It was his effect. And especially in these cases. I'm not going to completely say intent doesn't matter. It sometimes does. But it definitely doesn't matter more than your effect. And the effect here is big, especially against the asexual community who...
Okay. The effect argument needs to go in 2024. The effect argument needs to die immediately. Fuck the effect. What was the intent? How to fucking make sure you don't go insane along with this guy. How about that? Again, stand by my fucking point. Okay.
Which is a community that is very often misunderstood and harmed quite literally because of that misinformation about them. And it behooves you to get that right. And especially even if you don't get it right to listen to criticism from that community. I fucked up things about the asexual community, and my co-writer Aaron, who's openly talked about being asexual, has corrected me. Thankfully, it's often in like a script phase where I mention asexuality, and Aaron comes in and is like, nope, this isn't right. And we discuss it because I try to get readers on my work to make sure that my work is not going to harm anyone. But if and when I ever do that publicly in a video, I will own it and listen to criticism after the fact.
Now, I just want to point this out as well. I don't know what the derogatory things were that were said. I don't know in the style that they were said. I will fully admit that right now. If you guys could tell me in the comments that are watching this video somehow, because I'll fully admit I'm not a researcher up to this caliber. If he said some fucked up shit, let me know what the shit was that he said, and try to be as legitimate as possible. Try to be level-headed with it. Let me know. And then I can kind of judge for myself, you know what I mean? I don't think that's hard to do. Because maybe there was legitimate things that were said that shouldn't have been said. I don't know. Because this is the first I'm ever hearing about it. So, fair enough if there was some shit that he said that shouldn't have been said. I don't know that. And fucking assume that that was his intention, when you don't actually know his intention, is just gross. And just, fuck me, there's like 15 more minutes of this shit.
And hopefully try to delete or take down the video.
12 more minutes,
that level
actually.
Where that needs to be the case. But he doesn't really take ownership of that. Not only that, in his very next sentence, he says, I'm sorry for those who felt that way. Also, my co-writer, Nick, is asexual. And starts to basically have like, well, my best friend is asexual. And he also alludes to earlier, it's like, I lost my best friend in this. It's like, I'm sorry that you lost your best friend, Nick, but like, you kind of deserve it because of this, and this isn't about you. It is telling to me that every single option that he offered up as a way to make restitution within this video, that he framed as like part of making amends, would also have a side benefit of benefiting him, or even a direct benefit of benefiting him. Like, for example, his line was, I'll turn back on the videos and give the money to the people who I plagiarized. Number one, that would also potentially help him if he's able to gain subscribers and gain traction and find a new audience that hadn't heard of him, which is very unlikely given the YouTube economy, but who knows? He definitely can't do anything but help him gain more subscribers at this point, and he'll make money off of it has to trust him that he's giving it to all the people he plagiarized and not just taking some for himself. So that there's that element of it. Again, maybe that's not his, maybe he's earnest, but that's like there's no way to like protect against that. The other thing he does is he says like, oh, I'll turn back on my Patreon so that people can quit my Patreon, but there may be people who miss it, and so he will potentially make some money when they are charged at the beginning of the year. So that will have a side benefit to him. Meanwhile, at least as of right now, as of this recording, maybe that's just changed. He hasn't sent a message to his patrons that he's going to reactivate it to notify them of this. So that's curious to me. Again, maybe that has changed by the time this video goes out. And then he also argues, hey, I want to still make cool videos. I still want to benefit the queer community. Isn't this a cool idea? Here's a pitch for a video that I really, really, really want to make. Then that would also have the benefit of, you know, benefiting his career and letting his career continue going as is, as if nothing happened. And then he also mentions, as I said before, Teller's Films.
What? Okay. Everything else was decently better said than he said it in the first two. Like, the first 2 points he just brought up were actually said better here than he did in the first time, because he fucking just personally attacked him in the second point, which completely derailed his first point. And even in this first point, he said something that was egregious as well. But here, again, completely disvalues his point because, fuck. I'm gonna just replay that again.
His career and letting his career continue going as is, as if nothing happened.
Okay. The whole nothing happened argument, he's trying to fucking do a way where he can make up for what he did and still have a career in the thing he loves. Okay, some selfish benefit there. But he's also trying to make up for it. Is he not allowed trial of redemption? Like, is that just not a thing anymore? I'm sorry. We can't fucking change? We're not human. We have to be perfect in every way, and we have to just accept shit if we're not, and we're witch hunted, and we're fucking horrible people forever and for life? Are you fucking kidding me? This is unbelievable. You gotta be out of your fucking mind. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, fuck you on that point. That's bullshit.
And then he also mentions, as I said before, Teller's Films, which he says totally isn't a scam, and that he would message the people who paid him money to explain the situation. No mention of refunds, no mention of getting any money back. Like, even if it wasn't a scam, which again is questionable given all the evidence at this point, but even if it wasn't, I have to assume there are going to be people who gave him money who feel like they want to take their money back, and he should offer refunds. Regardless of if his intent is still to make those films, even if it wasn't a scam, he should offer that. That's the thing he should do, but there's no mention of that at all. So all the things that he proffers up as potential ways to make amends also either have a side benefit to him, or he doesn't even open up the possibility to allow people to, make some money back from what they gave him.
Okay, but even the methods you gave him are a side benefit to him no matter what. So, like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, even the methods you gave, which some of them were actually legitimately good, like, even some of the methods you gave are going to side benefit him. Like, so if that's the only reason you're fucking mentioning your side things, like, I don't know why that point needed to be stated. It side benefits him no matter what. It happens if you're trying to redeem yourself and trying to better yourself and right the wrongs that you started. Okay, whatever.
I don't mention at any point of paying anyone back from money he already has. He sort of makes claims that he spent a lot of it. He doesn't make as much money as people have mathematically found out about him, and he just costs too much for his rent. So like he doesn't even make an offered plan of paying people back at any point. Like, even if he can't pay back everything, which I don't expect he could, there are things you can do to pay people back, like sell your camera that you paid for that. I don't know. It's just there are ways to offer up ways to make some level of amends and restitution that don't also have a side effect of benefiting you in some way, shape, or form.
Stay 24/7 shower fresh with Old Spice Night Panther Body Wash.
You gotta fucking skip another ad or let the ad go through.
Here's a message to you from
double ad now?
students at the state.
Okay, so this guy just wanted some extra fucking December revenue, like, which is the only reason.
It really upsets me. It really upsets me, and this is coming across as like very angry, and I know that.
And here I am being a hypocrite, by the way. I'm judging his intention. I mean, that's just kind of the YouTube game anyway. Maybe he'll donate this money to charity. I'm judging a positive thing. There you go. I kind of counteracted a little bit. But yeah, let's continue.
It's understandable. But there's just a part of me, too, that's like, this is just bad for James. Like, again, I keep coming back to this thing of, like, I want to be understanding of this fact that, he may be in that really horrible mental state. He quite possibly is. But all this is going to do is make people question the validity of that state. And also just, like, reopen, like, everyone talking. I'm doing it right now. Just talking about him. And I'm sure it's not going to be good for his mental state either way, even if he was 100% sincere in it. And he somehow mentioned in the video in a more offhanded way, didn't make the focus of the video, the first opening salvo of the video. It still would have been, this video still would just not be a good moment for his mental health, if that's where he's at. You didn't have to make this right now. You didn't have to make this apology right now. The thing that I would say you should do, what should have definitely done, is try to like give access to people who are trying to figure out who you plagiarized. That fun that Ace Bomber guy is going to do is you know, everything is properly accredited as best they can when they hand out that money, and then take the time to do the apology properly if you're not in the mental place to do it.
I will say, despite everything that you said, which a lot of it was just outright lies, but there were some points that you actually made that could and actually are more helpful than the methods he came up with. So in that regard, I hope James Summerton takes this, okay, and actually takes those points. Don't get too emotional. Just know when to tune the bullshit out, like I had to kind of do. There are good ideas that you made, guy. Like, I'm not even going to outright say you didn't make good points. Again, I want to make sure I get this name right, because I just discovered this guy. Jesse made good points. Jesse made good points. I'm not going to outright say he didn't make good points. Okay? Fine. Take those. I think you should do some of the stuff he recommended. I just wish people understood that maybe his fucking way of... Maybe he's trying to outlet an apology as a cry for help. And like, what do I do here? Even if that wasn't what he said... You could do a video where it isn't a fucking attack and anger and frustration. Relax, calm down, break down his points, break the apology video up into sections if you need to, and then outright state where he fucked up in the apology and what better methods he could go about doing this, okay? Maybe he should sell his camera. Maybe he should make that list. Maybe he should gather some money in other ways to, you know, essentially pay back the debt. But regardless of whatever the fuck he does, we also need to understand that anything that he's going to do to rectify and remedy that situation is going to side benefit him. No matter what. End of story. I mean, that's just it. Anything that you do to rectify something like that is going to side benefit you. That's part of redeeming yourself. How have we gotten to a point in social media and in life in general where that's discouraged? What the fuck? Hello? Merry Christmas, I guess, and Happy fucking New Year.
You know? So, like, I'm trying to be empathetic, because as someone who has been in a place like that in my life, I don't want to come across as, like, callous. I'm just...
Well, you did.
Is, you know, it's going to harm that for him, too, now.
You came across as super callous. Outright just stating false information as doing so, because you were so angry and let your emotions take over, just like James Summerton did when he let his emotions take over in sadness. That's the truth. And he ain't the only one guilty of that. We'll get to the last video where all this started in a minute.
Because he's going to become the villain of the week again. And again, if this isn't earnest, he can go fuck himself even further. But if it is earnest, it makes it worse for everybody, including James. And he's like, he's trying to like save his career, it feels like. And if we're taking it at earnest face value, I get it. If you loved this job, it sucks to probably come to the understanding that you can't do it anymore. Your career is done. As, frankly, I think it deserves to be. For everything. And that hurts, and it sucks. I get it, and I get wanting to hold on to what you can, but you can't really. And even if you could, it's a long, long process. This video is not going to help. Sorry, one other thing, too, that I meant to say is just like...
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. He plagiarized and didn't source his sources correctly because he at very least, from the sound of it, from what his perspective is, grossly mismanaged that process. Because he got big too quick. You're telling me he can't bounce back from that? I've seen YouTubers bounce back from worse, dude. We still have fucking Jake and Logan Paul running around, and they've run fucking crypto scams and actually scam people out of their fucking money. So don't fucking tell me this guy can't redeem. That's just outright bullshit. You just don't want him back because you feel fucking personally attacked by him at this point. Holy shit, get your head out of your ass. Stop letting your emotions take over here. As I fucking get emotionally angry over fucking stupidity, by the way. Jesus Christ. Hey, we move.
If you really like this work, you would have done the thing that you were passionate about, that people who do video essays are passionate about, you know? Doing the research. I love making videos. Yeah, I have fun doing the costumes and, you know, the editing and all that. I do have fun doing that stuff. But the reason that I write video essays is because I love researching. I love trying to explain things to people. That's fun for me. So if, James, you like being, you know, the video presenter or an editor, if those are things that you liked, you could have teamed up with somebody who maybe didn't like being in front of camera, loved writing, or something like that. There's just numerous ways you could have done the things that you loved without plagiarizing. But if your video essays really were your passion, you would have done the part that video essayists love. So it comes across more as, again, just a grift to make money.
The Mega Power Frunk. With 400 liters of storage.
Which what this feels like it is trying to do, to just cling on to the last remnants of that. And if I'm being rather frank at the moment, like, for something like this to happen, at a time where the queer community, the trans community, women generally are being so vilified, especially as getting our voices out there as creators, as artists, but even more so at a time where our voices just need to be heard when, you know, our community is under attack, to have a prominent queer voice like James, who is getting traction in the public mind. Like Neil frickin' Gaiman and other famous people had mentioned James Summerton, had shared his videos. To have someone like this, especially since James was asking me, like, he kept saying, like, I am speaking for the queer community, to have that become that, like, arbiter of the queer community, to be revealed as a fraud, it makes us all look bad. And it sucks that we live in a society that, like, lumps us all together, and they will, like, the people who are transphobic, homophobic, sexist, will use one person to exemplify the entire community.
Which, okay, now I understand why you are so angry now, because that makes sense now. That actually makes sense why you went so hard on James. Probably too hard on James. Fair enough. Lord knows I know how that feels. I've known plenty of people that were misrepresented in the community in and of itself. And they love to lump everybody together like everybody's the same. Bro, I'm a wrestling fan. That happens on a daily. And I am not the type of wrestling fan that's going to be like, oh, you fucked up, you should die. I outright discourage shit like that. And I admit I get shit wrong. Fucking Grapple Vision, Tonka Saw admitted, it literally presented evidence to me that I was wrong. So it's like, I get that whole thing, man. But, like, fuck them. Because you cannot control how people react. You can only control one person, and that's you. Focus on you. Stop focusing solely on him. If you want to criticize him and say what he fucked up on, fine. Let him redeem himself, fine. You said your point, that's done. He fucked up here, you need to get better at this. Even if it was a major fuck up, it absolutely is a major fuck up. You need to do this better. And don't come across as a fraud, okay? But don't act like this fucking guy cannot fucking come back here. I hate that fucking mentality, man. Fuck off. It ain't okay. It never should be okay. That ain't just... It's just... I can say that until I'm blue in the sun, but I think that fucking mentality is fucking gross.
And I don't want to ever be like, you know, one person has to be perfect, because it looks bad in the whole community, but James sort of asked for that, and frankly, it just really sucks for the rest of us. Like, being frank...
No, he didn't ask to be perfect. Nobody does, but okay.
While I have been lucky in that, you know, my channel is doing well, my career is doing well, I'm very lucky to have identities. The movie that I'm working on happening, I've by no means saying, you know, I'm not doing well or privileged in many, many regards. It has also been very, very hard for me as a creator to constantly harass, be attacked, be lied about, be vilified from so many corners. It has honestly been a real slog emotionally and sometimes physically to just be a creator, to keep focusing on making things while dealing with all of this other stuff this year. And shit like this just does not help that. And it's been even harder knowing that, you know, watching friends of mine who aren't as lucky as I am, queer creators, struggle even more. And see someone plagiarize from them, or to see someone, you know, try to stand as an arbiter of the queer community and then be revealed as a fraud. Hurts us all, not just the queer community, but even beyond that. And I've tried to keep this general. I mean, obviously there's an element of me feeling angry, just generally for the queer community stuff, and then also I've had my own history with him, which I've talked about in other stuff, and even then I haven't talked about everything, because I don't really want to. I don't want to go into all the nitty-gritty detail of, like, shit with me and James, because it's not helpful at this point. And I know some people are going to claim, like, oh, Jesse, you're doing this video to also gain attention or whatever. Like, it's the YouTube attention economy nonsense. It's just how it goes.
That's fair.
You know, I don't know how to push back against that other than to try to be honest and be like, this really fucking sucks. I'm really kind of upset about it. I don't know. It sucks. Anyways, I just needed to say something because it was going to be in my mind for all of Christmas, and I didn't want Garry over Christmas. So I'm like, you know what? Before I pack, let me unpack this so I don't have to carry the weight of it when I go to travel back home. Because heaven knows.
I'm for that. Even if I do not agree with you, good sir, you know what? I respect your decision, and I respect that fucking statement. At least you were honest about it. Just be honest with yourself that you were also being emotionally manipulative, just like you claimed James was being. And I'm good. But, other than that, do whatever. I don't really care. I'm probably not going to watch your content again anyway, but I do respect that at least at the end of the video, you just kind of wanted an outlet to at least express your anger or frustration. That's fair enough, you know? Fair enough. I respect that.
Airline baggage fees are expensive enough. There's me trying to make some humor. Airline humor. I'm like Seinfeld. Anyways. Take care of yourselves. And to be very clear, physically and mentally, I wish James nothing but the best. I wish nothing but bad things for his career, especially in this field. Angry at this apology video, but physically and mentally, I wish James endless health.
Man, just when I give this guy credit.
But physically and mentally, angry at this apology video for his career, especially in this field. I wish James nothing but the best. I wish nothing but bad things for his career, especially in this field. Angry at this apology video, but physically and mentally, I wish James endless health.
I wish nothing but bad things for his career. But I wish nothing but...
And to the rest of you, I hope you have a merry holidays if you...
Like, it's such an oxymoron statement. Okay, so you wish everything except for financially. So fuck his career, which would also help him in a mental and emotional to be better and actually improve on it. And he could actually... And you don't wish that he improves as a creator. You feel like he lost that chance, so fuck him anyway. Holy shit, dude. I give this guy credit, and then he says that.
Celebrate any of them. Have a happy new year if you celebrate that. Take care of yourselves. And I'll be back in the new year, I guess. Feels weird to do the pitching thing. Anyway, live long and prosper.
Okay, well, at least he's a Star Trek fan. Yeah, I really don't like that video. There are points that he said that I agreed with, though. So, at least there was something to take away from that. At least there's that. But, fuck the idea that he can't redeem himself. I don't respect that at all. I think if you admit that you fucked up and try to better yourself, you should be able to have a redemption arc. It's one thing if you do it over and over again. And I get that he plagiarized over and over again, and that's fine, but at the same time, I feel like he didn't know, and I don't know. It's very murky, and I feel like people just don't they don't see that, and they just assume that he's a piece of shit that wanted to steal people's work, and that he was a fraud and all this shit. And granted, was he lazy? Was he negligent? Fuck yeah. But, man, I think that's about as far as that goes. Anyway, the video that kicked this whole fucking rabbit hole off is Moist Critical talked about this. And I'm gonna outright say this. His take is so fucking heartless. Holy shit. Probably the most heartless even before this guy. We're going to go into reasons why. Here we go.
It just wouldn't feel right if 2023 didn't conclude with at least one more horrible YouTuber apology video, and luckily, Krampus did not let us down, delivering a nice lump of coal under the tree. This had been a year filled to the brim, the cup runneth over, on bad YouTuber apology videos. I was a naive fool to think that we had seen the last of apology videos for 2023, and how wrong was I? In the fourth quarter here, the last week or so of 2023, we were blessed with one more from James Summerton. He was featured prominently in H-Bomber Guy's newest video on plagiarism. I'm sure all of you have seen this video by now. If you haven't, that is shocking to hear and should probably go check it out. And I'm not going to recap the whole video, but I will give you a brief synopsis of James Summerton's role in it. But basically, James Summerton was pretty much caught with his hand in the cookie jar, plagiarizing his entire online content fundamentally. It also goes even deep.
Well, again, completely, not entirely, but mostly.
Than the plagiarism, he was accused of multiple other bad things in regards to his content and claims he was making and a bunch of other variety of things. And in response to that, James went dark. He went off the grid, bought a log cabin in the middle of the woods, grew out a lumberjack's beard, he bought a Hoover from, Breaking Bad, and he disappeared. So, he...
Right away. If you are an emotional person, some people take this route. If you are not in the right headspace, this is the first sign that the person needs help. And essentially, they just kind of disrespected that, and now they're just making jokes about it so fresh after he had just said he almost killed himself. Nice.
He went offline, and then a couple days ago posted a surprise apology video going over all of it, which he deleted a couple hours later when it didn't get the response he was expecting it to. But it's been re-uploaded, and I kind of wanted to cover it a little bit just because it feels right. 2023 had so many of these. We've got to usher in 2024 the right way with an apology video to kick us off getting into the new year. So let's take a peek.
Hi everyone. I'm sorry for taking so long to make this video or to say anything. I'm in the hospital. I've been in the hospital.
We have seen this video, by the way.
Call me John Madden because I'm going to walk you through the play in this playbook here. It's called Emotional Manipulation. It's a timeless classic. There is no reason he should be starting this video with this story here.
Yeah, when a person is emotionally unstable, they do a lot of things they shouldn't do. I mean, it's fair enough, he's not being emotional in this, but go ahead. Continue, I guess.
He uses this technique multiple times throughout the video, and...
Oh my God. I'm just gonna mute. I'm just gonna mute until the ad's over. Fuck's sake. Alright.
Doesn't really even address the accusations head on. It's mainly a lot of deflection. But what I want to focus on is just how hard he leans on trying to garner sympathy through this. Now, it's always sad to see someone struggling and going through a hard time and contemplating extremely terrible things with their life. But it's not something that you need to be sharing online in this capacity. And it's also not something most people would be comfortable sharing online, especially in response to things like this, because it...
So, because he went through a hard time, whether it was him who fucked up or not, you're defensive. You know, I hate this fucking American mentality about this shit, man. Because there are so many thieves that, or just criminals, right? And I'm not talking about I'm talking about like petty theft criminals who thought the same thing, that went down a bad path and whatnot, that wanted to kill themselves, you know, and you're telling me they can't redeem themselves. They're human beings, dude. Holy shit. Like, dude, I kid you not, I've seen this with wrestling too. Hell, I've done it myself with Jeff Hardy, but Jeff Hardy had done this multiple times up to this point. It wasn't like one thing. It wasn't one thing where he did it and then it was over. He had plagiarized multiple times, but he also didn't do his due diligence, which ultimately he didn't do his videos right, and you kind of have to lump that in differently. I feel that's only fair. He clearly didn't do his due diligence in researching every video. So in that case, I take it as all one offense, even though it was multiple videos. By that token as well, he already deleted it. He already deleted those videos. And maybe he shouldn't re-upload them, that's fine. But he's trying to find ways to fucking I don't know. Just work it out. I don't think he should just be completely ostracized from the community he was trying to help. And just that fucking cancel culture mentality, man. I can't stand it. But also just the idea that, you know, oh, it's hard that he, you know, you shouldn't be opening up about that. Well, when is a good time to open up about it? It's never a fucking good time. Just sometimes are better than others. It's just fucking double standard. Charlie, you fucking gave people credit for opening up about shit like that. Like, you can't then just go and assume this guy's intentions by saying, oh, he's emotionally manipulative. Oh, it's an emotional manipulation tactic. And you outright cut out, and this is where I'm pissed with you, fucker. You outright cut out where he says he did it. Fuck that. That's bullshit. And if there was a reason, monetary, fine, I understand that. But that's bullshit. At least state that he did that. Or that he did something that he ended up in the hospital for and he woke up in the hospital. You didn't even mention this in your video at all. So it happened. Judging by his words, and I'm taking him at face value, it happened. You don't just go then and say it's emotional manipulation when he tells it in this apology video. I don't give a fuck if he shouldn't have done it or not. That's just fucking wrong. Fuck that bullshit, Charlie.
It comes across as very insincere.
Oh, and by the way, this is a guy I'm subscribed to. This is a guy I actually highly respect. Okay? And I'm angry with that take. Because I have gone through similar things like that. I'm not saying I plagiarize people. I try to give as much credit as I possibly can. I give, as I said in the start of this video. So, I do give credit where credit's due when I need to. But fuck. This shit, man. Like, I've gone through stuff like this in my life. Like, oh man, just, it's so discouraging to see shit like this, dude. Like, people are just so, like, they want to be so neutral and they want to just have such a logical mind of things that they just become heartless and they don't think about anybody else except for themselves and how they interpret it, and they don't want to fucking get emotional. It's like, have a fucking heart, Charlie. Jesus Christ.
And disingenuous, and kind of like using it as though it makes you immune to criticism because now you've gone through this, if that makes sense. And that's pretty much what his whole audience said too. Even the ones that were trying to rally behind him, hoping for a real explanation, this left a very bad taste in their mouth because it's completely unrelated to what should be being talked about, which is his plagiarism as well as the other things he's been accused of. He doesn't need to be sharing this information with us. This is a very private matter that he should have kept private.
I tried to do something really stupid. I'm really only here now because before I did it, I called my dad to talk to him one more time, and he figured out something was wrong and called paramedics or 911 or...
Once again, there is no reason to be telling this extremely personal story to your audience when this is supposed to be a video addressing all of the accusations against your content. It's just the only reason this is here is so that way people can sympathize with him and feel sorry for what he's been going through. And make no mistake, from what he describes here, it's an extremely horrible experience that I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. But it has no place in this video. It just comes across as super fucking tone deaf here. Just...
The hell it does. The hell it does. Let's break down the facts. He had already deleted the videos. He had already disabled the Patreon. He had already gone dark on social media. He needed to make an apology video, partly because he was pressured, and partly because he just wanted to move past it as best as he can. But he also, at the same time, wants to move past this mistake and do better. If fucking Matthew Santoro can do it, who, by the way, didn't even offer that as good of an apology in the video that you are talking about, Charlie, which, by the way, you cut out so much of the video itself. You cut out so much of this video because maybe you were just fixated on one point from the sound of it. But he apologized outright, saying, I was wrong about plagiarizing, I was wrong about spreading misinformation, and I was wrong about saying things that were just outright incorrect about the asexual community. I mean, yeah, he did that shit, and yeah, okay, it's sympathizing, fair enough, but, like, does that invalidate everything else he said in that video outright? Just completely? No. That's not how information works, you idiot. And I'm trying not to be so angry about it, but it's just like, why are we so quick to just judge people's intentions like that? I can't stand shit like that. I can't. Fucking watch the whole video and dissect it part for part if you have to. But don't fucking go and be like, alright, well, no, this guy's completely disingenuous and all this shit. How about you fucking give the guy a break? I mean, he stole fucking articles. It's bad. I'll outright say it's bad, and he should be condemned for that to a certain degree. But he doesn't deserve to fucking be so harassed to the point where anything he says in his apology video just doesn't get anything. People in the goddamn commentary space need to be more responsible for how they tackle suicide, and how they tackle suicidal ideation, and how they tackle suicidal thoughts. They need to fucking be held accountable for shit like that. I've seen too many fucking YouTubers already in my lifetime. I've seen too many people in entertainment in my lifetime that have killed themselves over shit like that. Because people were so quick to jump down their fucking throat. Sorry, I got a little choked up there. And I've been at that place too, by the way. I know friends of mine who've had people that have been in that place, by the way. Unless they're a pedophile, a fucking murderer, like a genocidal, homicidal maniac, right? There's no reason why somebody can't have another fucking chance. I'm sorry. There's no reason. I don't get this at all. I don't get this fucking mentality where your career is done if you fuck up once. And it really is. It feels like this guy fucked up once. And I know it was like, okay, he fucked up multiple times with plagiarizing. But so did Matthew Santoro, and he's fine. I mean, all things considered. Because he... fuck. Man, I'm just... fuck. Man, I'm sorry. And look, I respect Charlie. I'm gonna stay subscribed. Like, it's fine. I don't hate the guy. I understand his mentality of it. I don't agree with it, and I think it's very heartless, and I think it's counterintuitive when you're leaving out so much of what he said in the apology. And then saying all of his shit's disingenuous when he's literally trying to think of ways in real time on that video to help and try to donate. And he even said, H-Bomber, 100% right. Everything he said about me is true, and I fucked up, and I'm sorry. Like, so much of that is just left out in this video. We're going to continue. You'll see what I mean.
Talk about, if you want to make an apology video or explain your side of things, then do that. And don't go into the private side of what's been happening behind the scenes since the accusations came out.
They got here, and I woke up in the hospital, and yeah.
Oh, okay. He didn't leave that part out. I guess I just missed this. Thank God. Okay.
Anyway, I'm not trying to make this a sob story.
That's my mistake, and I'm glad. I'm glad Charlie didn't leave this out. I don't have a problem with him. My quarrel with him, completely false. Fair enough.
I'm just trying to explain why I've been so quiet.
You spent the entire first minute and a half making it a sob story, though. That's not an accident, and you could have edited that out. It's here because you wanted it to be here, to start with immediately trying to get the waterworks going with people crying over how awful this experience is before you get into what's supposed to be your side and your apology over everything.
I think it's justifiable only because if he had just gotten out of the fucking hospital, which it sounds like he did, by the way. I don't know if he actually did, but it sounds like it was like minutes before he like left for Christmas or whatever. Because I think he just got back Christmas Eve from the sound of it. Man, I think it's justified. I think you can talk about how it fucked you up, and then go into it. I don't think then the whole video should just be completely tossed to the side. I think you can. And again, it's just this idea of judging people's intention. Holy fuck, dude! I see too many commentators do this. Commentary channels do this. Even people I respect. Mudahar is one of them. Charlie is one of them. Tommy C is one of them. Kavos is one of them. I don't even respect Kavos that much, but he does it way too much. Like, there's so many people. I mean, Mr. Daniel Keem, I mean, fuck me. He's egregious with it. I wouldn't even call him a news source at this point. He's about as bad as fucking James Summerton is, apparently, when it comes to misinformation. But, I mean, fuck, dude. Like, this idea that he can't redeem himself and can't better himself, like, fuck, dude. Like, it's not like he made this mistake over and over and over again and just did it on purpose. He did it because he didn't know, and now he knows, and he felt wicked bad, and he fucking went dark, and he's trying in the video to come up with ways, and he was probably trying to figure out ways, and people kept telling him, there's no use, your career is done, blah, blah, blah. And he also wants to still make videos, and people are calling him selfish for that, and it's like, well, if he tries to redeem himself anyway, that's going to happen. I mean, that's how it is. Deal with it. Sorry. Like, he didn't murder anybody. He didn't fucking touch anybody that was underage. I don't see why he can't fucking try and redeem himself. If fucking Matthew Santoro can do it, I don't see why he can't do it. And again, I don't know what the fuck was said about the asexual, and I feel like there's something I could be missing. If I am, I beg you people, please let me know. Please. And link me to places where he said this awful shit, if he said awful shit genuinely. And if it sounded genuine, and it was in poor taste, and all this shit, that's fine. Send it to me. I want to digest that. I want to know. I want to learn. I don't want to come across as completely, uncaring on that side either. I want to know that. If you can link me information that paints this guy like in a worse light than I'm giving it credit for, then fine. But I can't see that right now. I just can't. And it feels like everybody's just on a fucking witch hunt. What? Fucking 6 hours before the sun rises for Christmas morning by the time I'm recording this? Like, Charlie, what? He posted this on what? Fucking 4 hours ago. Like, dude. Fuck's sake.
It's just textbook emotional manipulation trying to make everyone feel bad for you, even though you were the guilty party who got caught, and this is you trying to talk about that, and you still haven't yet, even though we're already kind of deep into the video. Now it is a 34-minute video, so a minute and a half isn't like the bulk of it, but he sprinkles this throughout the entire thing, so you can't really make a good argument that it's only here to try and explain why he took so long to make this video.
I think you can, and I think that if you... That's another thing. I disagree on that point, because if you don't have... He explained it, and then people said, well, it's emotionally manipulative. Do you want the truth? Now you're not even accepting the truth. So he tells the truth on why it took so long, and he sprinkles that within the video, whatever, and then they just have that. Now that's a fucking problem. So this guy digged himself a fucking hole. It's fucking... Alright, whatever.
You don't need to explain why you took so long. You really don't. If you really wanted to give an explanation, you could just make it super concise, like, hey, had stuff going on. Or this has been an extremely stressful period of time in my life from all of this, so I've taken some time to process everything, and now I feel comfortable going forward. Like,
I think that's fine, but I also think that telling somebody what to do after they had just gotten out of a fucking hospital is heartless, and I don't think that should be done either. And I don't think you can control somebody who's in that emotional of a state, who had just gotten out of the fucking hospital, who had just tried to take his own life. You can't say that. Like, I'm sorry. Am I losing my head? Am I losing my head? Am I talking crazy? But I just don't think that's rational to fucking go to that conclusion. I don't. I think what's more rational is being like, look, man, maybe you shouldn't have said it, but fair enough. If that's what you said, I'm gonna take it as face value, but I'm still gonna address the other points that you made in the video and actually break it down like I just broke it down. And broke down the other guy's video as well, who was also emotionally manipulative by your terms, by the way, if he was fucking angry, okay? But after I heard his explanation, now I understand why the other guy was angry, why Jesse was angry. Okay, fair enough. I understand now. I understand both sides. Truth lies somewhere in the middle. That doesn't mean somebody should be canceled and not fucking try to redeem themselves. That's bullshit. Sorry.
You didn't need to dive into it like this, and you didn't even need to explain why it took you that long in the first place. And on top of that, he does also still go over these really sad things in his life throughout the whole thing that aren't just there to explain why it took him so long to talk about all of this. So it really does feel like he's trying to emotionally manipulate people with his apology video.
Okay, and I can understand where Charlie is at least somewhat coming from here, but the other fucking explanations that I assume he's referring to, I'm hoping he could correct me, by the way. I don't know if he'll ever see this, but if he does, I assume he's talking about the points where he was talking about, him about to move house. He's saying that directly correlates to this. To people lying about how much he made off of whatever, and when that was simply not the case, and they greatly over-exaggerated it. Hence why he's moving out, to live somewhere more affordable in this case. And then on the other one I want to say is, the asexual misrepresentation, and him bringing up Nick, losing his best friend Nick. That guy, just judging by from what I heard, they worked on the videos together and they split the revenue 50-50. So therefore, he's as responsible just as much as fucking, James Summerton is. So James is responsible as well as Nick. And they both wrote this fucking script, and they both fucked up when it came to the asexual community and the bisexual community. That's what it sounds like to me. I assume that's what Charlie is referring to. There is context to that, because it's half kind of irrelevant and half relevant. But again, I think it is relevant to, again, all that is subjective, I guess, but I think that is actually relevant to his thing, so. And it's more explanation than we got in other apology videos. Yes, fair enough, Charlie, he could have kept it concise, but again, I think the idea that you're going to fucking say, well, he shouldn't have, we just stop? Did we not learn anything from Etika in how about we don't judge people's intentions when they're in an emotionally unstable state? How about that? How about that? I'm sorry, but, like, I hate to even drag Etika into this, but, like, have we not learned a fucking thing from that? God damn it, dude. Like, have we not learned from Hana Kimura as well, if you're a wrestling fan? Because I know wrestling fans will watch my shit no matter what. I appreciate you, by the way. Have we not learned a thing from those situations? Like, at all? Just fucking relax on this idea that they need to do things a certain way. Whatever they do, you don't have to agree with it. You can outright say you don't agree with it, but just say, look, I don't think you should have posted that emotional response because it makes it look bad to other people. But I'm not going to fucking be one of them. I'm going to take what you say at face value, and I'm going to criticize every other point you made. Boom, done. Now you look like the good guy. Now you're handling it proper. Charlie, you're not handling this proper, and you can't tell me you are. You're handling this so fucking heartless, dude. And this ain't the first time you've done it. And this ain't the first time Mutahar's done it, or Tommy's done it, or which is funny because he's handled other things better. Now look, we're all human. We all make mistakes. I don't give a shit. All right, I'm gonna forgive and forget. I'm gonna move on with my life. I'm gonna be going to Christmas dinner tomorrow, so I'll be having fun there. By the time I'm recording this, it's New Year's by the time you're seeing this, or the day after. So I'm gonna do my thing, whatever. But still, dude, like, handle it with some fucking emotion. I think the idea that we're just going to completely take emotion out of it, that mentality only works and goes so far. It really does. So, anyway, let's continue.
But even when he is done going through this story and actually trying to talk about what's been going on, he takes really no responsibility. He does say, "I'm sorry," a lot, but it feels kind of hollow when he starts throwing somebody else under the bus for things and then kind of belittling.
Again, I'm not going to even, I already made this point in the other guy's video. I'm not that I don't care about what Charlie says, but I already heard this already. I don't even need to dignify this with a response. I explained why that's bullshit anyway, because if somebody is working with you, yes, you are the face of the company. You take a majority of the responsibility, but some fall has to go on this guy too, because he should have done a lot more fucking research as well. They're both at fucking fault. Plain and simple.
I don't think I really need to show you more of the video itself. You get the idea of exactly how this goes for the rest of the 30 minutes of it.
Well, I think you did, but fair enough if you couldn't be asked to it. I almost did the same thing you did here. And then I thought better of it, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to actually do my research as I do this podcast. So that's what I did. And ultimately, I jumped the gun on a couple of conclusions about you. Turns out you never did, so fair enough on my part. Glad you didn't do those things, and I am sorry I accused you of doing those things, real quick. Accusing that you left out the part where he said he actually almost killed himself. Fair enough, you didn't do that. I appreciate you not doing that. But I don't appreciate you downplaying anybody's suicide, and I don't appreciate when anybody downplays any fucking accusation. I don't think it's anybody's job to assume intention. The minute you start assuming intentions, that's when everything goes to hell. We cannot do that. We just can't do that. So, that's the end of that. And again, I'm guilty of it too. We're all guilty of it. I think we need to be better at that, and that's what I'm going to try to be better at. That's one of my many resolutions this year, by the way. I actually have resolutions, like actual meaningful resolutions, this year coming up in 2024, so, yeah.
It's just a really baffling decision to post this in the first place.
Not to me. Not to me. It's not baffling to me. Gotta play an ad, by the way. You say it's baffling, Charlie, but I really don't think it is. But we move. 3, 2, 1.
Pottery.
And it's something he recognized pretty quickly when he saw the the responses coming in, the Yelp reviews. So here's his community post addressing it. Earlier tonight, I uploaded a video apologizing for what I've done, but it's become clear after hearing from several people that I'm not in a healthy frame of mind to be posting anything online. I only returned home from the hospital yesterday, so I should have never filmed it.
That makes sense. Yeah, okay. So I assumed somebody's intentions, or assumed that somebody went to the hospital. It turns out I was right on the money there. So I was right. I was right. I didn't even see this community post until now.
Deleted the video, but I'm sure it has been downloaded and will be shared by others online. I promise to apologize properly and in detail when I'm more mentally stable. Until then, please know that I am sorry. He understands that this wasn't a good idea, but insists that he is sorry and will return at a later date to make a better apology video. And I have to say, that doesn't seem like a good idea. Like, I don't understand why he's even going to bother trying. There is really nothing that's going to improve for his online career through an apology. His audience isn't going to stick around through it. They were there for his content, and his content was stolen. It was all plagiarized. Like, there's no reason for them to stay, and it's not something he can just move on for and keep pumping out bangers because no one's...
Alright, I'm not even gonna fucking... You know what? I got an idea. This is what we're gonna do. Hold on. I'm gonna just write a name in here. Hold on. Let me just get this right next to me, and then I'll just point to it. Hold on. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Can't redeem himself and can't improve his online career. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Can't improve his online career or anything. He's done, man. It's over. It's wraps. All right. Hope you have that same energy for him.
Is going to believe that it's original work or anything that he himself created.
The hell he can't. If he could fucking absolutely cite the sources properly, which he failed to do in his first run, absolutely he can. It's called building trust again. Anybody can do it. Nobody's immune to fucking improving or changing. Unless you are a pedophile or a murderer. So please, spare me with that fucking nonsense.
So there's nothing he can possibly gain from even making an apology. He should just do something else that's not being a YouTuber, or find a completely different niche on YouTube to try and make it big in. Like, there's just nothing he can really do for the James Summerton brand here. So I don't know why he's going to try and make another apology video later. It just seems kind of silly to even bother. Like, he doesn't have anything that proves him innocent from the claims. He really was kind of, caught pants around the ankle here. It's kind of kaput. Like, it is clear he plagiarized a lot of things, and there's a lot of other accusations on top of that as well from the way he conducted himself and some of the content, like in some of the things he said. And there's really not a whole lot he can do to come back from that.
I will say this. Whatever the fuck was said, send to me, because I don't know the full context of those. I've been saying that over and over again like a broken record, but I mean that. And please do it with respect and decency. If you just come at me screaming and attacking me, I'm going to block your ass. That's just how it is. Come to me respectfully, explain where I fucked up, what things he actually said, because I don't know. For all I know, this guy could have been a fucking twisting narrative piece of shit that hated certain classes in the community that he was a part of. Which, by the way, do exist. It exists in the fucking cis community as well. It exists any fucking culture you're at. I mean, there are people that hate black people, other black people hate black people, other white people hate white people, any fucking Hispanic hate another Hispanic. It happens, bro. Like, that happens, especially in that line of work, unfortunately. So I could be absolutely proven wrong. I will admit that firmly. Please send me where I need to go to get that information proper. But otherwise, I'm going to move on. If I feel I need to make a follow-up video, I will, though.
And make this big triumphant comeback with an absolute fucking banger apology. That's just not going to happen. So why even do it? Just go do something else, man. Just move on from it. So yeah, I just wanted to cover this a little bit, just because it's one more bad apology in 2023. I figured might as well complete the year the only way we know how, with bad YouTuber apologies. Yeehaw. That's a...
Yeah, I'm not even... I mean, that's pretty much the end of my video as well, but I disagree in the fact that it was the horrible apology. I actually think it was a better apology than a lot of people give it credit for. At least he fucking took accountability. I don't see a lot of people do that, by the way. And I don't see a lot of people explain it in great detail what the fuck happened like he did either. Even if some of the points were like half relevant and half not relevant. And then they just want to say, it's completely irrelevant now because he's trying to gain sympathy points. Well, fucking whatever. I think he handled it as best as he could have anyway, even though he was very much emotional, and he probably shouldn't have posted it as emotional as he fucking was. Lord knows I know a thing or two about that, by the way. I've done that a couple times in my YouTube stay. I think the moral of the story here is I think we need to be better at handling shit like this with grace. I mean, this has happened to so many content creators, and I've seen people almost died from this exact thing. And luckily they came out the other side and they become way better from it because they don't want to ever get into that situation again, because they don't want to fuck up that bad again. But there are people that absolutely just fucking... They are so heartless when it comes to little mistakes. And I know this wasn't necessarily a little mistake, but in comparison to crimes that have been committed on YouTube, like scamming and you know, a lot of other heinous shit. I don't even want to fucking say the words at this point because it's gross to even mention it anymore. Dead ass, man. I think people need to be better at not canceling somebody so goddamn quickly. That's my opinion. I think you can redeem yourself, and I don't think it's impossible to not redeem yourself. I think you can if a crime fits the time, do the time. I think you should do a list. I think you should do all the things that Jesse mentioned in his video. Which were much better than the things that James Summerton mentioned in his video. I will admit that. But this idea that he can't fucking come back and do the content he was doing before is just fucking ludicrous. Again, I just showed you a blatant fucking example of that happening. Matthew Santoro did it. If he can do it, so can this guy. Sorry. I'm so fucking over this fucking nonsense. I just am. Like... It's essentially the PewDiePie is racist argument all over again to me. It's like PewDiePie wasn't racist. He said the N-word once, which is not good to say at all. But he hasn't said it since, and he said it was wrong, and he went to sensitivity training, and he tried to fucking get himself back into it. And even though he had moved past from the situation and had donated to charities and had tried to do right by that, people assumed, oh, he's being shallow with it. Oh, he doesn't mean what he says. Oh, he's a Nazi. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. I am fucking sick to death of it. And PewDiePie is one example. There's plenty of others I can give. I think that needs to die as well. Judging people's intentions. I think the idea that they can't fucking side benefit from trying to better themselves by helping other people that they feel they've wronged, that needs to die as well. Because that's going to happen no matter what you do anyway. The idea that they can't come back from that is so fucking ludicrous, especially when the crime said can be redeemed from, because we've seen people do it. And again, I don't see that same energy being given to Matthew Santoro, so... yeah, that's the moral of the story. Just be better about judging people's intentions, and don't fucking be so heartless when somebody had just came out of the fucking hospital. and be so heartless to just not give him the fucking space. It's fucking Christmas time. It's New Year's time. It's a hard time of year for a lot of people. Please stop fucking doing that. Because it does, when you do that, come across as an attack, whether your intention was to do that or not. I'm not judging your intention. I'm just telling you the effect, right? Well, that was the effect. And again, you would have thought we learned that by now with fucking etiquette situation. And other people who have done that fucking unfortunate thing, you know. I literally just got done talking about Chester Bennington, who did that a couple weeks ago, actually. R.I.P. to him. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, I got a lot of stuff coming up. Be on the lookout for it. I just felt like I needed to get this out there and kind of talk about this because it was kind of weighing heavy on my mind once I saw that video from Shirley. So it's out there now. I'm going to get some sleep because I got holiday festivities tomorrow. So be on the look for that. Again, take a look at the documentary, Garry Hebert, 1 in a Million, coming out very soon. Probably in a month or two. Be on the lookout for it. And also, just this as well. Be on the lookout for my rap song. Those are the things that are definitely going to be coming up. If you're watching this after New Year's, which you already are, I'm recording this on Christmas. Check out me and Noah calling AEW World's End. And check out the Open Mic Night New Year's special. And check out everything from the Multiverse of Media. And check out the return of the Don DeMarco show and the debut of Character Select. Hopefully the return of JHebert theme edits sometime in the spring. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you on the JHebert side. Take care, everyone. And Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. And Happy New Year, too. And Happy Holidays. And Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and whatever you celebrate. Hi everyone, JHebert from the JHebert side here, as well as other shows that you see here on YouTube. You're probably noticing, hey, James, where's the credits? Look, I'm done putting in a bunch of extra work where it's really not needed. I mean, you know who created the show. What we're going to do is a little bit different. Going forward, you're going to see me at the end of every JHebert side of things, kind of talking to you, telling you what to check out, as opposed to, you know, seeing these credits. That's essentially how we're going to be doing that going forward with every JHebert side as we go forward here. That's going to be the case with the Don DeMarco show as well, with Character Select when it debuts. That's essentially kind of what you're going to get. But yeah, just kind of look for that. There's really not much else I have to say here. I just kind of want to let you guys know. If you want right now, you can check out the Open Mic Night Highlight Reel Best of 2023. Go check that out right now. A lot of people really liked it. And also, just subscribe to the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse Media. And until next time, see you on the JHebert side. That's pretty much it.